Hey, my Liptons. So it's been 2 days since Bray Wyatt's death. Um, I did my video that same day, and I talked briefly about it. Um, you go through that's the thing about when you hear someone who passes away and that sort of thing, especially if it's someone that you feel like you identified with or you were a fan of or that sort of thing, or even if it's like a family member, friend, you know depending on the circumstances or what they've been through in life or whatever, you go through I believe it's the 5 stages of grief, where it's like you're crying, you're heartbroken, in denial, and then you do get to that stage where you do get angry. You know what I mean? And I do feel like, while I'm still obviously, this video is mostly gonna be about obviously me celebrating Bray and his magnificence, but it's also gonna be me expressing some anger towards the WWE and Vince McMahon, and how just undervalued, and they they just did not appreciate Bray's just like brilliance. You know what I mean? And I listen, maybe this might not be the time to discuss something like this, because we're still in the grieving period and that sort of thing, but it's just like, because when you look at those packages, I remember WWE put up those packages and the vignettes of like Bray's time in the WWE, and you see all the people that he's wrestled, and then you also end up, not only, of course, you think these are great matches and things like that, but you also think about how much Bray was just buried with certain wrestlers, when it comes to like John Cena, when it comes to Goldberg and that sort of thing, how his character at times, he was just buried, and it really really hurt the perception of Bray Wyatt and what he brought to the table. And I think that Bray was trying to trying to preserve his character and the aura that he built around him, and which he did. But unfortunately, due to the WWE's stupidity and Vince McMahon's annoying ass, just like not wanting to make stars out of people, you know, it hurt Bray Wyatt. And I was listening to a couple of people on YouTube who were discussing Bray Wyatt's death. And I think, obviously, one person who I would recommend y'all guys to go watch, I would say definitely, you guys definitely should go watch Vince Russo's reaction to hearing Bray Wyatt's death. I think Vince Russo brought up a lot of great points. And it's obviously on his own channel, and the video that he and the channel on Sportskeeda, where he's talking to Chris Featherstone. He brought up a lot of great points when it comes to Bray, because Vince Russo has always put over Bray Wyatt like just magnificent, like he's just and Vince Russo brought up another great point. He said that Bray Wyatt is probably one of the best characters we've, if not the best character we've ever seen within the wrestling business, And I think that that's going to bring up a lot of debate and that sort of thing. But I think when you're thinking of someone who has brought like a different kind of like person into play, like at the end of the day, Bray Wyatt's name is not Bray Wyatt. He's Wyndham Rotunda. But it's even weird for me to even call him Wyndham Rotunda, because to me, Wyndham is Bray Wyatt. Like this is him. You know what I mean? This is him. And I think that there are times where you can look at other people when it's like, you know, the Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin or, you know, Hulk Hogan. It's like, for some odd reason, we could differentiate the person from the character. It's like, yeah, The Rock, but he's also Dwayne Johnson. You know, Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's Steve Austin, you know. And of course, they blur those lines between how they are in real life and the character, and they blend those together. With Bray Wyatt, he's just Bray Wyatt. There's no blurred lines. It's like you and that's one thing I respect Bray for. He was committed to protecting his character and making sure that, and of course here and there he would especially outside of the ring, he here and there, not a lot, he would you know, say hi to fans, that sort of thing, smiling and things like that, but you still didn't know too much about Wyndham. Like, you didn't know what he liked. What is his favorite food? What is his favorite color? Like, nowadays, you know, you see wrestlers nowadays, everybody and their mama is doing shoot interviews. Everybody is having a podcast. Everybody is just talking. There are people, there are wrestlers, even in the wrestling business today. There will be active wrestlers. They'll do a match, and then they'll do an interview. Not even a few hours later, talking about how we did this in the match. Oh, this is what we try to do. This is the. It's just like, in a way, exposing the business, and the business has been exposed, but like, there is no ambiguity anymore when it comes to the wrestling business, and I feel like Wyndham Bray wanted to keep within that ambiguity. He wanted to still have a little bit of kayfabe within his character, and I think that he definitely succeeded in that. He definitely succeeded in that, and I respect him so much for that, because, you know, we really haven't gotten someone like that, like someone like Bray Wyatt, you know, apart from like The Undertaker, who really, really just made sure that he was not out here in these streets, like, really talking. You know, Undertaker protected his role. He protected his character. And a lot of wrestlers today, unfortunately, 99.9% of them don't protect their character. They don't protect. It's like, you could be a heel in the ring, and then by the next thing you know, once it's time to clock out at 11 o'clock, here you see the freaking heel in real life. Oh yeah, you know, Chi-Chi's, yes, I'm friends with the babyface. I'm so, it's like, we're really, and I think that we really have to think about this. We really, really, really aren't going to get someone like a Bray Wyatt. We're not even going to talk about having someone like Bray Wyatt, because I think that's never going to be imitated. But someone like Bray Wyatt, especially in today's wrestling, we are not going to get that. At least not in my life. Maybe in my lifetime, I don't know. But as of right now, maybe not in the next decade or two. Because Bray was a once in a lifetime talent. Okay? His mind, and, you know, he just and for as many times, and of course, I was introduced to Bray Wyatt as, you know, listen, beat shirt, Bray Wyatt, hat, beard, you know what I mean? Fireflies. With the Wyatt family, with Brody Lee. That's how I was intrigued then. He was so mysterious, so scary, so just evil. And I'm going to talk about, and I spoke about this too, and it's so crazy because on my channel I shared, on my community tab, I did share a video I did on Bray Wyatt not even a month ago. I did a video on Bray Wyatt discussing how, you know, Bray Wyatt needs to be more appreciated within the wrestling business, because I started within the wrestling community, because I'm starting to see people kind of disrespect him a little bit, saying that, oh, you know, the reason why Bray Wyatt isn't on TV is because it's his fault. You know, he's too crazy. He has too many ideas, too many. And it's like, I'm confused. I'm like, listen, you got people who can't even say a freaking promo without even getting it written for them, without having ghostwriters. Okay? You would be lucky to have a Bray Wyatt who creates his own characters, who knows what he's doing, who knows how to cut a promo, who knows how to storytell. I said it then in that video. You guys can go look at my community tab. I shared the video there if you guys want to go watch it. I said there is nobody to blame for why Bray Wyatt is in the place that he is now, but the WWE, and Vince McMahon. Point blank, period. And at that time, we didn't know about the illness or anything like that. But even before that, we're going to talk about how Bray Wyatt was first introduced to us. How they built him up, and then what did they do? They buried him. John Cena. And that's another thing too. I listen, I don't know you Super Cena fans might come in my comments. I don't know. But I don't care. And maybe I might do a video later on this week or whatever. But John Cena had contributed to the burial of Bray Wyatt. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, it was Vince's decision. John Cena had stroke in the company. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it a stack. He had stroke in that company. If Vince McMahon brought up something, John Cena could have said, and he was Super Cena, he was the superhero. He could have said, listen, this doesn't make sense for this particular moment at this time. I think that Bray should go over. We're not doing this. We all know that John Cena has stroke. And he had political power. So let's not act as if there are times where John Cena has not only buried Bray, but it's many different other wrestlers as well. And that's going to be for a whole nother video. John Cena, he buried Bray on his promos when he didn't have to. They refused to book Bray strong. You know what's so crazy is, as much as WWE has tried to keep Bray down, he kept shining. That light was never gonna extinguish. Because once they buried, what did he do? He created a new character. And it was getting over. And WWE, what did they say? We're not creating new stars, which is ridiculous. You know, Bray, with the John Cena situation, and obviously he has some other feuds. You know, Daniel Bryan, the Wyatt family with the Shield, and then obviously when this Bray character, unfortunately, it got buried to the point where the audience started to really feel that it wasn't believable anymore. It's like you're talking all this stuff, but yet you're not backing it up. So Bray knew that he needed a character change. You know, with the Fun House and then the Fiend. The Fiend could have took this company. It's like the company had another chance to go to another level with this. Respect this character. Build this character up. Make it. And it was all of this was Bray's idea. All of this. Nobody can take credit for Bray's idea but him. And what did the company do? Had Goldberg bury him at Saudi Arabia and take the championship. Which was... And listen, there were some reports, I don't know how true this was, you know, Bray Wyatt was getting frustrated with Vince, saying that, listen, your creative sucks. And therefore Vince was like, you know what, you're dropping the belt. I don't give a damn. If you think my creative sucks, it is what it is. And that's what happened. Which is why Vince McMahon should have retired even before all of this, even before the Fiend stuff. He should have been gone to let these characters flourish. Had, and then on top of that with the Randy Orton stuff. You know what I mean? It's just everything was just atrocious, and Bray was just still trying to protect the Fiend. He was trying to protect it so hard, but unfortunately, once it got to the matches, it just and then what happens at the end where he's always losing is what happens is it starts to become not believable anymore. I feel like obviously are now. I thought about it then too. I think I probably said it in the video that I did a month ago about Bray. Bray Wyatt was bigger than the WWE. If we're gonna be honest, he was bigger than the WWE. Bray Wyatt could have gone to Hollywood, and I truly believe this. If he had gone to Hollywood and brought his ideas to, especially like someone like a Sam Raimi, like one of those horror directors who knows how to give you a great movie. Had he gone to who? Hold on. Okay, good. Sorry, y'all. Had he gone to someone like a Sam Raimi, like, someone who has a good horror background, and brought his ideas, his thoughts, his creativity, his substance to that, Bray, I'm sorry, he would have revamped this whole horror section of films, and he could have became an A-list celebrity. He could have became he would I honestly believe Bray Wyatt would have become a box office success. He could have became that. He really could have became that. I really believe that. Because he was bigger than the business. His mind was too big for this business. Because WWE in a lot of ways are so small-minded nowadays. It's like, but they have been like this for almost a decade and a half. They're so small-minded. They don't want to step outside the box. And someone like a Bray Wyatt, and I get it with him. At the end of the day, Bray Wyatt, he grew up in the wrestling business. His dad, IRS, Mike Rotunda, was in the wrestling business, so he grew up loving it. He grew up loving the wrestlers within the wrestling business. So he wanted to be within this business. He didn't want to abandon it, even though I think people were probably telling him, and I'm not sure, I think people were probably saying, listen, like, you really need to go to Hollywood with this. You're top notch with this. But I think that he loved the wrestling business so much that he was like, nah, I'm going to stay over here. But I think that had there been a lot of convincing, Bray could have really made a huge impact on the horror scene. He really could have. And WWE just did not deserve him. If you really think about it, at the end of the day, WWE did not deserve Bray Wyatt. They didn't. Because they've always pulled him down. Because let's be very clear, WWE is not the one that built Bray Wyatt up. He built himself up. WWE kept bringing him down. Vince McMahon kept bringing him down. He's the one that kept burying him. And yet he kept being the light that always broke that glass ceiling. He always has. He's always proven himself. If you guys look on social media right now, it's not just the regular wrestling fans that are just in shock about this whole thing. Bray Wyatt, in a lot of ways, has brought some casual fans. I believe that. He has brought some casual fans. He's brought that audience where they were tired of this bullshit wrestling stuff, where it's phony, it's fake and stuff. Bray Wyatt brought a good amount of mystique back to the wrestling business, and I think that he did bring some casual fans back to the wrestling business. And WWE felt some type of way. They were like, they're no longer making stars after John Cena, after this and that and that. We're not building any more stars. So therefore, they kept bringing him down. Here's another thing too. First of all, this moment right here I know people were going up for it, talking about, Undertaker passed the torch, and like, oh, he passed the torch. Pass the torch to what? It's already past the Fiend era. It's already past, Funhouse era. It's already past, Beach Shirt, a White Family era. And I spoke about this on my video I did on Bray Wyatt a month ago. I said, listen, and y'all might disagree with me. Brock Lesnar should not have been the one to end Undertaker's streak. Point back period. It should. First of all, if y'all were not going to do it right, y'all should never broke the streak to begin with. Let Undertaker retire with the streak. But the person who I believe should have broken that streak was Bray Wyatt. 1,000%. 1,000%. After the Shawn Michaels, the Triple H match, with Shawn, the second WrestleMania. After all of that, which was a great moment. Well, let's just go back. I'm forgetting. I forgot what year Sting came into the wrestling business. Came into WWE. I'm sorry. I believe it was 2016 ish. I have to go back and I'm trying to remember. First of all, they should have been building a Bray Wyatt from then, since 2012 when he came in, 2011 2012 when he came into the main roster, building him up, winning matches, win matches against John Cena, win matches against Randy Orton, win matches against all these cats, all of them, make him unbeatable. All right, boom. We get to where Sting comes into the wrestling business. I keep saying the wrestling business. When his Sting came into WWE. Sting, they should have built a years-long storyline with Sting and Undertaker. First of all, that whole, I get it with the corporate stuff, with the Triple H stuff. First of all, Sting should have won against them. That's point blank period. I don't care. They really got me tight with that. He should have won. Okay, we ended there with Triple H and Sting. Then they should have gone into the Sting and Undertaker storyline. Build it up for a year. Yeah, there's a lot of meat on that bone. Y'all should have built that up. Then comes WrestleMania. And obviously Sting has to lose to Undertaker. And then Bray Wyatt is still being built strong. Bray, Undertaker, they come into the mix. One Mystique character from the other. Undertaker is unbeatable. Streak is unbeatable. How many WrestleManias to owe? Bray Wyatt is unbeatable. Has beat all the main top stars within the business. Along with the help of his family. These two have a years-long feud until it gets to WrestleMania. Who is the best? Who is the better mystical, ambiguous character? Who is the character that is the most give me that. These two's characters are more similar than you guys think. And then it's a long match. Make it a good maybe 25-30 minute match. Undertaker loses to Bray Wyatt. That's how you pass the torch. Because that would have done wonders for Bray's career. It would have done wonders for his career. But unfortunately, WWE being the annoying assholes that there are, first of all, they completely messed up Sting's run. They made Undertaker lose his streak to the wrong person. Because first of all, him losing that streak to Brock Lesnar did absolutely nothing for Brock Lesnar. Like, what do we get? Nothing. It's like Bray Wyatt, you know what I mean? It's just, he's just there. And this could have been a moment, but unfortunately, this here was it did nothing for me either. Y'all talking about he passed the torch to Bray Wyatt in 2023. Like, girl, bye. Like, we should you should have been past that torch years ago. Okay? So I didn't care for this moment in 2023. Maybe 10 years ago I would have cared. Maybe 5 years ago I would have cared. But right now I don't care. Anyhow. I just feel like Bray's mind was too... It was a gift. It was a gift. And I think that WWE did not deserve that gift. They didn't know how to handle it. So therefore, they had to bring him down. Therefore, they had to say that he was difficult to work with. Therefore, Bray was someone, while he did reach his potential, I don't think that he reached the full of it, because this was just a glimpse. You know what I mean? With the Fiend and the Funhouse and Wyatt family, that was just a glimpse. And those were great years of content and everything. We didn't even get to see the climax of all of that, and unfortunately, we're never gonna see it. I feel so bad for his children who aren't going to grow up with a father. I feel bad for JoJo. I'm saddened for the kids. I'm saddened for the kids because they're going to have to grow up, you know what I mean, graduating, school graduations, going to college, marriage, giving birth to their own children, and their dad is not going to be there. That's the part that hurts the most. That's the part that hurts the most. And I said this on Twitter. You guys can go and check on my Twitter account. And I said it there. I was like, even though, listen, of course, I watch Bray on television. I don't know him as a person or anything, but I love him. I loved him. I loved his creativity. I loved his bond. I loved what he gave us. I love the fact that he brought me back to wrestling again, because wrestling was going down the drain for me. It was going down the drain. I didn't care for anything else. I was tired of the Super Cenas. I was tired of the foolishness, the childishness that was going on in wrestling. Bray Wyatt was the one that kept me intrigued, that kept me fascinated, that kept me on the edge of my seat. He brought me back. He came. I wanted to see his segments, not anybody else's. And I love him for that. I love him for that. Anyway, y'all, I had to get that off my chest, because it's like you're at this stage where it's like you're grieving and your heart is broken and stuff like that. And then you get to the stage where you're angry. And it's like, and I felt like obviously this is supposed to be a celebration video, but I did have to get some of my anger out about how much Bray Wyatt was just so mistreated within the WWE and by Vince. But I definitely think I'm going to get to the part where I feel content and say, you know what, I am going to move on, But I just want to say I'm gonna miss Bray so much. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss seeing his just everything, his creativity, his presence on television. Like I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. And it's not gonna be, and I just know there's not gonna be anyone, not even close like him, for maybe a decade or two. I don't see it happening. This business is so close-minded. It's so niche. And that's now. That's now. You know what I mean? How Bray Wyatt came, I feel like if Bray Wyatt came around, obviously during Attitude Era years, even Ruthless Aggression Era years, and beginning of PG era. I think that he would have succeeded way more because that's when, I don't know, WWE was kind of seeing the light and making stars out of people. But he just came out of a horrendous time in wrestling, you know, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, y'all, please tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. How do you guys feel about my thoughts? Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys maybe later next week and see how I'm feeling. Maybe, I think I might have a new video up. But yeah, I had to talk about Bray again because he's gonna be missed. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to you guys later.